Welcome to Behind the Lash Chair. I'm your host, Alexis Weisenburger, founder and owner of AW Lashes. My goal is to help you as a lash artist grow with tips and tricks on lashing, becoming an entrepreneur, marketing, and so much more. This is an amazing place to find free resources and connect with lash artists all around the world. Let's get started.
Hi, everyone. This is Christine Tanner with you, and I am so excited. Today, we have April, and she just got married on me a little bit ago and changed her last name. So I am not even going to try and pronounce her last name. It used to be Donnelly. That was an easy one, but I am going to let April introduce herself and give you a little bit of background about her, and then we'll jump into what we're going to be talking about today. So, April, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, this is April Pahayahay. Yes, it's a little bit harder to pronounce. I am a lash artist, salon owner, and a product distributor from Oahu, Hawaii. I've been in the business for about 6 years now. I would say my true passion is for the lash artistry side, and everything else kind of falls in line with that.
Perfect. So, April, what actually got you into the industry of lashes? I mean, for so many people, their story kind of takes different roads. Some people go to college and then, they realize their passion's in the beauty industry, or it's a second career, or they kind of started in that road and they hit lashes and they just knew. What got you into lashes?
So I was kind of looking for something different. I worked as a bartender. I originally went to school for paralegal studies. I thought I was going to end up being a lawyer one day. And then I worked in a law office and thought, this is just too high stress for me. And so I started to just bartend again and kind of look around for what could be next. One of my friends went and got her lashes done, and she said that the lash artist made $1,000 a day, and I was like, oh my god, sign me up. But that kind of started it all. I took a class maybe weeks after that, and I just thought, hey, this is something that I really enjoy. I've always loved working with my hands, and I just kind of snowballed after that. I took course after course and then started doing trainings and just the products and then the salon, and here I am.
That's awesome, though. I mean, I think every lash artist, when you just said that you heard that they made $1,000 a day, everyone's like, yeah, I wish. Right?
Yeah, it's not true, but it got me into the course. I was like, oh, really?
Yeah,
That sounds
right.
like that's sustainable. I could do that. Like,
For sure.
oh my
Bring it on. That's way better. So, um, and I love, so the topic we're going to talk about today is AI and marketing. And this topic intrigued me because AI has become a big thing. I mean, for a lot of people out there, you've probably heard of, several different services, each, if I swear it seems like each major company is publishing like their own AI to write content, or people will create images, or all of these different things. Like, even as basic as when you're scrolling on social media, I know a big, huge thing was, using AI to manipulate graphics of how you would look in as a fairy, or as, some other characters. And then also, even they have an AI set up that you can use to produce images, like business type images and things like that. So AI is really, while it's still new and somewhat cutting edge, it is becoming more and more mainstream. So this conversation, I think, is perfect and so timely to talk about how, as lash artists, we can use AI to help market our businesses and help us to do that piece as well.
Yes, for sure. I am no expert at all in AI. I just use a few of the available functions of it to streamline my business. It definitely helps me out in a few areas. that I used to use assistants for and paid a lot of money monthly to have them write emails, blogs, perfect captions and things like that. And now I'm able to use these chat boxes and it does it even better and in seconds and costs literally nothing. So it's an amazing thing for a business owner. It I'm sure it's very controversial for people in the marketing industry. I recently dropped my social media manager because I saw that a lot of things could be easily done with an assistant with no experience and I could pay them a lot less. So I'm sure everyone is excited to hear about this topic on how it can benefit their business. And yeah.
Absolutely. Well, because I really feel like too, there are some lash artists that definitely have an affinity for and are able to easily use social media to leverage an audience and grow their clientele. But let's face it, for most of us in the industry and things like that, it's social media is something you have to do. Otherwise, you can't grow your clientele. It's not necessarily what you want to spend your time with. In fact, my lash artist, I talk to her all the time about this, and she just tells me, I hate Instagram. I hate it. But it's like one of those love-hate relationships. She knows it helps build her business, but yet it's just like one more thing, finding the picture. And I think a lot of us even like overthink everything we post on social media, and sometimes then let it make it so that we don't post because we're overthinking. We're stressing out about, oh, there's a lash out of place there. Should I post this set? Should I not? All of these different things. And so I think social media is such a stress point, that if there's tools out there that can make it easier, I think it is so great. So, okay, so you used to have a social media manager and they would do like emails for your clients because you're a salon owner as well. So, and even if you're not, even if you're a booth renter, or even if you are a commissioned stylist, you should still be posting on your own and you still should be cultivating your clients so that you have somewhere to grow potentially in the future. So all of these things would apply to you as well. But so you were emailing your clients, I assume, and yes, writing blogs to help you with like SEO and those types of things for your website. And then for social media posts. So how did you first start experimenting with AI? Which chatbot did you use? Because I know there are multiples out there. Which one did you find was easiest to use? Like, how did you find out about it? What kind of prompts do you use to get the results you would like? Do you go back in and edit what comes? Just kind of share your process and what you learned to help others.
Yeah, first I actually learned about it through my therapist who has like multiple jobs and me and her kind of connect on that we do a lot. She told me that she uses Jasper, but I ended up using Chat GPT.
Mhm.
I first started using it on my computer and I would just mainly use it for blog posts. So I would prompt it to write a blog post about lash extension aftercare, highlighting the fact that they need to use a professional lash wash, and then make this SEO for Google optimized. And then that would write me a blog like instantly. And then I would read through it and I would be like, great, now I have blog posts for every month. And then I would use it for captions. I am not great at spelling. I wanted to be a lawyer, and that was kind of one of the things that kind of held me up. I was like, oh my God, I'm not a great speller. What am I going to do? Google spelling for the rest of my life? So besides the high stress, I was just like, gosh, let me get the spelling on with this AI keyboard. So you can download a keyboard onto your phone that will check the grammar and spelling for you. And that is something that I use all the time now because we always all make spelling mistakes, especially if you're someone who's posting a lot of content like I am. Sometimes every single day I'm making one post. A lot of it I do batch, but I will run it through the AI keyboard so that all of the posts are grammatically correct and spell checked and all of that. So I'm not getting little like, oh, you spelled that wrong. I'm like, that's not the point of the post.
Yeah.
So,
So which app do you use on your phone, and do you have an Apple or an Android?
I have an Apple, and this one is called Type AI. And this was actually the only one that I did pay for. And it was $39 for life. Otherwise, the other app that I use on my phone is called Chat On. And you can literally use Chat On for anything. So for the lash artist that's looking just to maybe even gain content ideas, you can put into the task for AI. They have all of these little sections for LinkedIn, for Instagram, for TikTok, for Facebook, for YouTube. I mean, it's crazy how much they offer. It goes all the way down to how to deny someone when they ask you for a date, but and then it's like it's extensive. So but just to hang around the online world section, it has captions, contents, and reels. So you can ask them like, what is trending for lash artist content? Or what is a good post for a lash artist to gain lash clients? I be sure to make it really specific. So sometimes whenever I'm looking to create a good post, I will do a prompt of act as a social media manager with years of experience. I need a step-by-step guide to having the best retention of lash extensions for lash artists. I make sure I let the Chat On know who's my audience and who I'm speaking to, because that will better guide what is going to come out of the Chat On. If you're just vague and you're like, the step-by-step guide for retention of lash extensions, it may be towards a client versus a lash artist. And I actually try to speak to both as someone who sells products and does trainings. I want to speak to sometimes the lash artist, and as someone who offers services, I also want to speak to the clients. So I try to make it really specific, and that helps you a lot whenever dealing with the Chat On feature. You can also put in there, write 3 versions for a deeper connection with your audience using humor or using an educational voice. You can edit the voice that they use if you want it to be more of a funny voice or a educational serious voice. I even sometimes write it in a blog style woman voice, and so it changes the style. And then I always ask, can you write 3 versions of this, so that I can see the different options that I would have and see what titles they use and what sounds the most like me. And I just kind of go through there. I definitely always read through and edit it afterwards just to make sure all the content is correct. And we all have our own view on how to go through retention issues, anything in the lash industry. So I try to make sure it's my spin on it. I don't edit it a whole bunch. It is really, really smart. And if you're wondering, like, what is Chat AI? Is it organic? It actually is organic information. It's basically like Google, if Google was a person that was on the other end writing you content. So all of this stuff isn't something plagiarized and pulled from other websites. It's actually information they found on the internet, but then organically wrote it out for you. So it's good to copy and paste from the chat AI. You're not plagiarizing anything. Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
answered all the questions.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't remember them all the way through.
I know, right? No, just to reemphasize that, yeah, basically what it's doing is, if you're talking about like Google's is called Bard. So there's Chat GPT, there's the Jasper, there's Bard, there's all these different ones. But basically what it's doing is these search engines are going out and they are combing through like millions and millions and millions of pages of data, and then taking all of that and extrapolating from the questions that are asked and regurgitating in whatever voice or tone or those kinds of things you're asking it to do. So it's literally like as if you went out and you studied all of the information that was out there and available and then wrote about it. But I absolutely would stress, if you are using it for your content, you 110% absolutely need to read through it very carefully, because like you said, I mean, it could pull information that you don't necessarily agree with, or maybe you do things a little differently, and you need to make sure that you are carrying over your voice, and so that things do sound like you, and so you're using it as a tool to help you versus to become you. If that makes sense. So, but I love that, because I think too, when we first started this conversation, we were kind of talking about blog posts and things, but I love that there are so many accessible tools, and I'm going to have you name those again, because I think those apps that you just talked about are great for people to be able to go and search in their app stores, that you can just have on your phone to actually help you with the captions and those kinds of things. So if you're one of those types of people that get stuck on captions, or you're just not sure how to talk to your audience appropriately, that can definitely be such a great place to start. And you know what? I mean, I think all of us, no matter how good of spellers we were in elementary school or whatever, because all of us are reliant on, like even texting. I mean, you think about autocorrect, and sometimes that sucks too, but and some of the words it replaces. But so what are the names of those two apps again?
Yeah, so Chat On and Type AI. And if you wanted to just have a little bit of help writing your own caption, say you wrote your own caption, another great feature about Chat On, it can just rephrase things. So if you just feel it don't sound correct, or it just sounds a little weird to you, and you don't want to go through using an AI to write all your content, the rephrase feature is amazing. And sometimes you're like, that's exactly what I was looking for. But yes, again, Chat On and Type AI. I love those on my phone.
I love to, because I wasn't aware, like the one you were talking about, that actually you can put in for the trending. So you can say, hey, what is trending for this topic right now? I love that it searches those things, because sometimes, unless you're spending hours and hours and hours of time on social media, which some people do, but I would hope then it's for enjoyment and not necessarily researching everything. But, and so unless you're willing to spend hours and hours and hours of time on social media to determine what's trending and to do research, this is one tool that can easily pull that information for you in just seconds. So I love that. It's an easy way to be able to stay on point with your messaging and to have trending topics. I also loved how you used the search feature for your blog post to make it SEO friendly for Google. So for those of you who aren't sure what SEO is, SEO stands for search engine optimization. So basically, what happens is when you have a website or a blog or anything like that, a search engine crawls through it. And by crawling, that means it reads it, it learns the information, and what you're presenting. And by using certain keywords, by using certain phrases, those kinds of things, it's going to pull out that information. So something that is SEO friendly is going to have nice, easy chunks that those search engines can go and grab easily and pull from your information. So when you're writing something that's SEO friendly, It's something that's set up specifically for those search engines to crawl and easily get that information. And then what happens with that is, say, you have someone in your area who types in, what is the best way to take care of my lashes? And if the search engine has crawled yours and yours has the easiest information, has a lot of hits and things like that, then it may point people to your website and your blog post about aftercare, which then could gain you another client. So that's why it's important to think about those things. And so I loved that you talked about that feature specifically, because I also think people think, like we started this discussion, how you said you used to have a social media manager and you used to have all these people working for you. I think a lot of people, and I'll admit, I've been in the marketing industry for years, and I kind of feel like SEO professionals are kind of like used car salesmen of the marketing industry. And I hope nobody listens to this and slams me for that. But it is so true, because here's the thing. I mean, and I'm taking this down a different road, but no matter what, at some point in time, your website will be crawled by all the major search engines. So at some point in time, every search engine will have all of the information off your website. It's just how quickly. And so if you do things like using that type of an AI function to help you with SEO content, you will do that, and you will save yourself thousands and thousands of dollars from hiring an SEO professional to make your website or your blog or anything like that SEO friendly. So I love that there are those features that, because, a lot of salon owners, a lot of lash artists, you're doing this. And we were talking about this, you guys go to school and you're spending thousands of dollars on all of your certifications and all of those types of things. And you have to spend tons of money on the products. And, you're entrepreneurs, each and every one of you. And you need to be able to not have to spend extra money where you don't need to. And nobody goes to school for everything.
Some of us don't want to learn all of this. Like,
exactly.
When I heard about SEO years ago, I was just like, oh, really? I was just like, what do you mean I need to start a blog? That's horrible. I don't want to write blogs for a living. I just want to do lashes and sell little lash products. But this is gonna just make entrepreneurship so much easier on the back end of all the website stuff. It's really a great tool.
I mean, and just so you guys all know, because you can't see April right now, but when I said SEO people were like used car salesmen, she was laughing. Just so you all know. I'm assuming there's probably a story behind that, but
I've already spent a lot of money on hiring someone to write SEO optimized blogs, and then I've contemplated hiring people to optimize my whole website, and just the amount of money, I was just like, really? That's so crazy. And I just did a little bit of it myself too. I always thought it was a little bit overplayed.
Absolutely.
Like,
that's what I was saying.
I was like, what do you mean? So I'm like, that's not something you should charge so much money for. You're just plugging in keywords behind photos, behind in product descriptions. It's a lot of work, but it's not worth that much. They're selling like it's a crazy thing that they're doing. I'm like, no, it's tedious, but it's not crazy intelligent.
No, and quite frankly, like I said, no matter what, if you have a website, eventually every single search engine is going to crawl your website, and they're going to find all the information there. So having an SEO person may just like expedite that a little bit. But if you're using some of these tools that are free, so like ChatGPT, Bard, all these others, they are free to use. And so if you put in those prompts correctly, and that just takes practice in using them. And so if you put in those prompts correctly, like April was mentioning before, produce something that is SEO friendly for Google or SEO friendly for all major search engines or something like that, then you are going to produce writing and content that is already set up for success for SEO, and you can save literally, I mean, some SEO companies will charge you thousands of dollars every month. So save yourself some money and utilize these free tools that are at your disposal. Absolutely.
It is groundbreaking, truly. The example I was using earlier, I was kind of just playing around on Chat On, and I actually made like a retention handbook, because you know how you see all those ebooks. I did get specific on the 3 topics I wanted it to cover, and it did a really good job. And you could go on and copy and paste that and fluff it up a little bit and then sell it as an ebook. It's kind of crazy the things that you could do with this Chat On. And I hate to almost say that, because I sell ebooks, and it might be the killer of all these kind of educational ebooks, because if you get specific about the information you need, and yes, there are the 3 topics that I won't mention right now that you would need the knowledge of those 3 topics to know that information, but it wrote a whole ebook for me, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I could just do it like that and not spend 20 hours writing an ebook myself. But yeah, it's just crazy. If you go on, it's so extensive. I really can't even cover. I probably covered like 5% of what the app really can do, and there's probably so many cooler features that I missed out on. It's crazy what Chat On can do for you. I suggest anyone to really go check it out.
I mean, on the flip side of that, if you have a specific question about something, say, because anytime you scroll social media, you're going to see a million posts about retention, but maybe they're not addressing like the one specific issue you're having. So you could even use, one of these AIs and go there and say, information on how to resolve retention issues with, whatever your specific problem is. And it will actually generate content for you to read and may also help you solve problems. So yes, while you can use it to help you generate content, you can also use it as a tool to quickly and easily help you address issues you might be having in your everyday business.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it can, like I said, I know Google has their own, but it's like talking to Google if Google was a person, and then it gives you like the answer instead of giving you all of these pages. It gives you what you want, and it's wild what AI has really transformed into, from pictures to now this. And I don't know if you heard about the strike with the writers. I know AI is kind of the movie screenwriters.
Yep.
I know AI is doing some bad, and some people are really upset about it, because you can borderline write movie scripts with this AI now, and you can write books, and you can choose the voice, and people have enough content out there, you can even manipulate a certain person's voice and write a movie in their voice. And so I know there's some bad about AI, but it's doing great for me so far.
I mean, I just think it's one of those tools. Like I feel like AI is kind of how social media and Instagram was for the industry, 10 plus years ago. I mean, you used to have to do a lot more legwork to build your clientele and things like that. And now, with Instagram specifically, it really helps you grow your local market. It helps you get new clients. It helps you, display your work and basically have a portfolio of your work available and accessible for potential clients. And I feel like AI is coming into that as well and really helping lash artists do so many things smarter and more easily and faster, because then you don't have to have a degree in marketing. You don't have to have a degree in business. You don't have to have a degree in all of these specialized things. You can do what you're good at and allow some of these access to these free tools. And, like the one app you were talking about, that's like $30 for a lifetime. You think about that. I mean, man, that's less than a fill. You know what I mean? Like that you're charging for a fill, and where it can help you and how it can help you really, if you're struggling with social media, or if you don't have time and you just need a time saving tool. I think there's so much to explore. And again, I know we've only like barely touched on the things that you can do with it, but I think it's a good start, and maybe something that a lot of lash artists didn't realize that they could apply to their business.
Yeah, completely. I suggest anyone who has a lash business, who wants more clients, who just wants an easier time on social media to download the app and check it out.
This has been so great. So, April, any parting words for lash artists regarding marketing and using AI in their posts or anything like that that we haven't covered?
Yeah, with that, you can kind of see that the AI will make posting easier. I know a lot of people stress about every single post they make, and I've never been like that. And I think that's kind of a blessing. It's been bad on the spelling where I'm like, oh yeah, post, and then I'll see hours later the spelling is horrible. But just don't take yourself so serious with this. This will make your words easier, I guess, and your captions flow a little bit better. So with that, if you're a new lash artist and you're struggling to make posts because you don't want to be judged or whatever scares you, just stop thinking about it and just make the post. Go on with what you're good at, show off your craft, and use AI to kind of help you with the captions part.
I love that. Okay, so April, if people would like to be able to reach out to you to ask you specific questions or to go more in depth with how you use AI, how do they find you? What's your Instagram handle?
Yes, so you can follow me at lash.meka on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok and Threads if you want to reach out there.
Perfect. So yeah, reach out to April if you have specific questions or you want to go and ask her and have her go a little bit more in depth with how she's used AI to learn more about how it can apply to your business. April, thank you so much for being with us today. We so
Thank you.
appreciate it. This has been such a great discussion and such a timely one.
Yes, thank you so much.